Hey everybody, how we doing? This is episode 12 of WWE Wrestlemania Road Signs. This also, for the TNA fans that watch my channel, this will be the first of 3 videos in 3 days. Tomorrow I'll be putting up my predictions for Victory Road, and Sunday I'll be putting my reactions to Victory Road. So, hopefully when those go up you will backtrack and still check out this vid, because I, as usual, have a couple ragtag things to talk about in the wonderful world of WWE leading to WrestleMania. And speaking of tags, I meant to do that, I promise. Saw something tonight on SmackDown that I've wanted to see ever since Christian came back to WWE from TNA. Finally got to see Edge and Christian reunite as a tag team, which is awesome. You know, slightly a throwback to when we actually had real tag teams like the Dudleys and, you know, the Hardys and New Age Outlaws, APA, all that stuff. Unfortunately, the only reason Edge and Christian got back together was to face Del Rio and Brutus Clay, his protege from NXT season, whatever the hell season just finished. Brought to light something that I've sort of tiptoed around before. I've said I don't really care about NXT that much. It's not even, I don't even know when it's on in Canada anymore. I know in the States it's not even on any TV at all. It's just on the internet. So obviously it was super successful there, but NXT really is just a sidekick factory, isn't it? With the exception of Daniel Bryan, but he's not even a winner. He just stuck around after it was over. But those of us that are, you know, not teenagers and younger remember back in the day, in the day of managers, with Bobby Heenan, Mr. Fuji, Jimmy Hart, Paul Bearer, Paul Heyman, etc., 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 and the list goes on. And, you know, then you had divas like Sunny and Sable and all that. Now it seems to be that we are just in the era of sidekicks, and all of them seem to be coming from NXT. Most obvious example would be Miz and Alex Riley, which has been, you know, annoying the entire Miz title reign, whatever. Now we have Del Rio and Brutus Clay. On Raw, we have the entire Nexus, who, with the exception of Mason Ryan, all came from NXT, and they're basically a pack of sidekicks for CM Punk. Same thing with the Corre. I mean, other than Ezekiel Jackson, they're all sidekicks for each other. Even when Wade Barrett was doing the original Nexus, if he hadn't had the whole Nexus behind him, I don't think he would have been as successful as he was. So he's a sidekick to them as much as they're a sidekick to him. So what do we want to call it? I mean, Caitlin's had like 3 matches from the women's NXT. The NXT that just finished, they said from the onset that the winner and their pro were going to get a tag team title shot. So again, it's a sidekick thing. Caval didn't really back anybody up, but he also didn't last very long, did he? So NXT, the sidekick factory. I'm hoping once Tough Enough starts that they just run NXT into the ground. I mean, they're already running out of ideas. The one that just started, somebody told me the other day, is like second chance NXT for the people that didn't make it through the first round. So NXT can go away because it's producing a bunch of annoying sidekicks that nobody really cares about, and don't really ever get to have a match unless their person they're sidekicking needs a tag team partner, like tonight with Brutus Clay, like in previous situations with The Miz and Alex Riley. They're never going to go out on their own, I don't think. And that's about the end of that. I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks I want to see the Big Show fight Ezekiel Jackson from the Corre, speaking of the Corre. And it doesn't seem as if that's the way this story is going. Not only because it's the entire Corre that keeps fighting the Big Show, Wade Barrett being the leader of the Corre, if there was a one-on-one match, would probably be the one taking on the Big Show. And now they've roped Kane into it as well, because Kane has a rivalry with the Big Show, but Kane also doesn't like the Corre, and Big Show doesn't like Kane or the Corre, and it's just weird. And it feels really, really strongly and desperately like they're trying to rehash the the tag team of Big Show and Kane, which is, I don't care, tagged up with I don't care. So basically, there's 3 ways they're going to go with this. They're going to have a triple threat match, Kane versus Big Show versus somebody from the Corre. They're going to have a tag team match where 2 random guys from the Corre take on Big Show and Kane, or the 2 that have the tag team belts take on Big Show and Kane, or they'll have a 4-on-2 handicap match in which Kane and Big Show will just walk in there and own all of them, and it'll be a power play. Any of those don't really interest me. Like I said, out of anything of this, I would have loved to see Big Show and Ezekiel Jackson one-on-one, but I think Ezekiel Jackson's stock is going down a peg from being tossed into a large group rather than coming in and doing his own thing. Yeah, that's all I got on that one. The Cole and Lawler situation. A week and a bit ago, he announced that Jack Swagger was going to be in his corner, which is retarded, and there's no logic behind it at all. He tried to announce his guest referee this week on Raw, and it was supposed to be JBL, but oh no, they're in Texas, so Austin's obviously there. Stuns Michael Cole, stuns JBL, signs the contract, he's the ref. Once again, Austin has a slot in the Wrestlemania scene, which is awesome, and then he proceeds to chase Michael Cole around and pour beer all over him and make him look like an idiot. Which, there's a great trend going into this WrestleMania, and it's like everybody that used to be around WWE, Austin and Rock being who I'm talking about mostly, sort of shutting up everybody that's a problem. The Rock shutting up Cena, Austin shutting up Michael Cole, and apparently Trish Stratus is going to beat the shit out of Vicky Guerrero in a couple of days on Raw. Also awesome. Had a thought. This is not going to happen. I'm fully aware of it. But wouldn't it be awesome, because Michael Cole has Jack Swagger in his corner for this thing and Jerry Lawler has nobody, would it not be awesome if Miz suddenly made a face turn at WrestleMania, came in, helped Lawler win, went into his match with John Cena as a face from that, start the John Cena heel turn that they've been teasing at forever and ever and ever, and just have Cena get owned by Rock and The Miz to close out WrestleMania. I would love to see it. I want something bad to happen to John Cena. I want Miz to keep the title. I want The Rock to fight Cena, and I don't think any of these are going to happen in that order or not. But, whatever. Miz make a face turn, Cena make a heel turn. It won't, because I'd love to see what happened to Bret Hart happen to Cena. Like, he came in as a bad guy. They made him like this super, super, super face. They've been saying for years that they want to make him the most massive heel turn ever. It will fail. They'll have nothing to do with him and get rid of him. Yeah, that's no respect to Bret Hart, but that's kind of how it happened, and it should happen to Cena. That's all I got on that one. We have the Taker Triple H situation. And really, out of anybody that's left in the WWE, the resume of these two guys, you don't need any promos. You don't need a story. You just need to say, Taker and Triple H are going to fight at Mania, and people will tune in to watch. I don't really know why they are putting more into this than they have to. I really said from the beginning, from the offset, that I didn't want the match between Triple H and Undertaker to be about Shawn Michaels. Now, Shawn Michaels did an interview 2 weeks ago on Raw talking about both of them. He did an interview this week on Raw specifically talking about Triple H, which leads me to believe that this coming Monday he'll do a video talking specifically about The Undertaker, and like, why? Again, it's that person that's not in the match becoming a bigger part of the match than the people that are in it, and it's not necessary. Triple H and Undertaker don't need any more boosting. They don't need to come out every week and cut a promo, or, sit there and try to puff their chest out to make themselves look good, or try to talk some shit to make the other. They don't, it doesn't need it. The stare down that they had a couple weeks ago, they could have done that the Monday before WrestleMania, and people would have bought it, and nobody would have had to have said anything. Undertaker also announced on Monday that it's going to be no holds barred, and really, whether they actually make it a hardcore match or not, it's kind of no shit that the match isn't going to end on a disqualification or a countout ever when it has to do with Undertaker's streak, because it's just not. It's more important than a title. The person that breaks the streak is only going to happen once, ever, and then it's going to be gone. and there's going to be one guy that'll be able to say that that he took it. I don't think Triple H is going to win it this year. As much as if anybody deserves to win it, it would be him. I've already heard the rumors that next year the next opponent is going to be John Cena, and like I said when that was the rumor this year, if Cena is the one that they give the streak to, I will boycott WWE. They will have officially sold out into the PG bubbly family crap, if they haven't already done that by the rumor of Justin Bieber performing at this year's WrestleMania, which just makes me tick. But again, Triple H cut a promo on SmackDown tonight. Undertaker cut a promo on Raw. They didn't interact with each other. There was no reason for them to be on each other's shows, but other than to further muddy the waters between Raw and SmackDown. Like, leading into WrestleMania, they always do it, and like, you can't really take the brand extension seriously anymore anyway. I mean, the tag team champions compete on both brands. At one point or another, the women's title was fought on both brands. When they originally divided the brands, the world title was defended on both brands. There's all kinds of crossover and bullshit, and the two separate brands thing is ridiculous, and it needs to go away. I mean, it creates too many belts. They don't have enough people to support two full shows, and it's just ridiculous, and it's useless, and there's no point to it. Triple H could have come out, cut his promo on Raw. Some random new guy could have tried to get into his face and, you know, even look good. He could have had a bullshit match against some random new guy so that he can come prove to everybody he's still impressive, make himself look even better going into WrestleMania. Undertaker could have done the same thing on SmackDown, and they wouldn't have had to visit each other's, you know, they wouldn't have had to piss in each other's yard, if you'll pardon the pun. That's all I got as far as what WrestleMania is going on this year so far. The last thing I want to comment on, though, is Drew McIntyre. They're kind of making a sub-story about the fact that he doesn't have anything to do at WrestleMania. Like, he had a couple matches with Edge, you know, branching off of the whole Kelly thing, and you're thinking, and as I said before, why are we having a rivalry between Edge and McIntyre when Edge has Del Rio to worry about at WrestleMania? Now he's gone and he's taking out Ray, who we just found out tonight will be facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So he's going after all these guys that have matches at WrestleMania because he doesn't. I don't know how you build towards a show where one of your stories is about the guy that's not on the show. Just a small point. I'm pretty damn sure that's the same issue they were running into with Sheamus. I'm pretty sure that's why they had him injure himself. I'm pretty sure they were running into the same problem with Jack Swagger. That's why they stuck him into the Cole Lawler situation for no reason at all. We can tell who's falling by the wayside, and it's becoming more and more clear that they're not going to do Money in the Bank this year, which means ridiculously good guys like Evan Bourne, John Morrison, Kofi Kingston won't have a place to shine at WrestleMania, because that's the one thing about WrestleMania that was made for guys like that. They have the new guy, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but is Sin Cara. Is the new masked guy that they signed from Mexico, who seems to have a lot of Mysterio-esque offensive style. He could have debuted in Money in the Bank. I wouldn't be a fan of him winning it in his first match, because that would be a handout. But he could have come in, he could have shown right off the bat what he could do. And if they've taken a tradition that is still in its young infant stages, like doing Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, and they've squashed it, it's really unfortunate, because it's, like I say, it's a positive place to put everybody that's really, really good and popular and should be at WrestleMania but don't really have a storyline to fit into. It's a good place to put them where they can still show what they can do, and it's an opportunity to take one of those guys that doesn't really have very much going on right now and give them that push. CM Punk is the prime example of that. Mr. Kennedy, even though he never got to cash it in, was a good example of that. Swagger, on the other hand, was a horrible example of that. RVD cashing in his Money in the Bank when they were originally trying to push the revamped ECW. It's had a good, solid, useful point in wrestling history. and the fact that it has its own pay-per-view now, and basically they throw anybody they can into it at that pay-per-view because it's not WrestleMania, has taken away from the match itself. I don't know. I don't have much else to say. I have said a lot. I've rambled quite enough tonight, I think. This has been episode 12 of Road Signs. Thanks for listening. TNA fans, I'll have another video up tomorrow and another video up Sunday for you. Other than that, subscribe up there, talk down there, let me know what you think, don't be a stranger, and have a good night.